saber tigers, also known as Siberian tigers, were once found throughout northern China, the Russian Far East, and the Korean peninsula. By the 1940s, hunting had driven them to the brink of extinction, with no more than 40 individuals remaining in the wild. Russia was the first country to grant the tiger full protection, saving the subspecies and bringing today's global population to about 400 individuals, with the majority living in Russia and at least 18 to 20 adult individuals in the border areas of China. Tigers are much smarter and more vengeful than you can imagine. Thanks to their excellent memory, these animals never forget those who offend them and do not forgive easily. A person who shoots a tiger but does not kill it or steals its prey needs to be extremely careful, as the tiger may follow them months or even years later for revenge. Here is a particularly striking example that occurred December 1997 in Siberia, more specifically in Primorie, a Russian region bordering China. A hunter named Vladimir Markov, who lived in Sobolonye, a small isolated village, was found dead one morning in the woods next to his hut. He was killed and eaten by a tiger at night while returning to his home. His dogs met the same fate. Yuri Trush, the head of one of the 6 divisions of the Tiger Inspection Brigade, which is responsible for protecting tigers and resolving conflicts between them and people, arrived at the scene with his team to investigate the circumstances of the tragedy. Studying the tracks on the ground, the inspectors found to their horror that the tiger was still nearby, a few tens of meters away. Although they couldn't see him, they knew he was nearby, perhaps watching them. After beginning to hunt him down with great care, they finally let him go, deeming it too dangerous to continue pursuing him. These people were far from cowards and were armed to the teeth, but they knew how dangerous it was to track a tiger on foot in its habitat, because these animals are very good at making themselves invisible. During the investigation, Trush and his men found out that the victim Markov was also a poacher who hunted protected species of animals, including tigers, for sale in the Chinese market, which is very interested in these animals. For example, traditionally China uses tiger bones to make medicines which have never been proven effective. There are even farms in China where tigers are bred to provide traditional medicine, but a wild tiger is always more valuable than one bred in captivity. And this large-scale trade threatens the extinction of the species throughout Asia. After the collapse of the USSR in 1991, the local economy collapsed, industry left the area, and millions of people fell into poverty. Many of them still engage in poaching of protected species such as tigers and illegal logging to make a living. Markov was one of them. Once in the forest, Markov came across a tiger that was eating a wild boar the tiger killed earlier. He shot the tiger, wounding it. The tiger apparently ran away. Markov took the opportunity to get the boar meat and soon sold it, but he made an enemy for himself. After this incident, the tiger began to constantly pursue him. Shortly before his death, Markov told his friends, other hunters, lumberjacks, etc., that the tiger had been chasing him for several days and pestering him daily. Unfortunately for him, the tiger managed to remember his scent and set off in pursuit. There were many people in this area, soldiers, lumberjacks, beekeepers. However, the tiger did not bother them and did not attack anyone because he was looking for one person and one person only. Over the next few days, Markov's dogs disappeared one after another, and he searched for them a long time in the forest. He told his friends that it was the same tiger that was responsible for their disappearance. Markov realized that the tiger was hunting him personally. Upon closer examination of the scene of Markov's death, Trush and his colleagues in the investigation also discovered that the tiger had been patiently waiting for him for several days, lying in the snow near the hut. Hunger and revenge pushed him to this. This tiger was not a man-eater by nature. If he had just wanted to eat people, then there would have been plenty of people in other places. He could go to the numerous huts of other hunters or lumberjacks in the same area. But this tiger did not hunt just anyone, only Markov. Investigators also determined that at the time of the final attack, the tiger was again wounded by Markov, and the tiger went off limping. He could no longer hunt his usual prey, such as wild boar and deer. He had to hunt people, even those with whom he had had no problems before. After Markov, the tiger killed and ate another hunter near his hut. Now it became clear to Trush and his people that the beast had indeed become a man-eater. To avoid having another victim, members of the Tiger Inspectorate decided to hunt down the beast and shoot it. After a grueling hunt that involved significant resources, including military trucks, the tiger was finally killed. But it was very dangerous. Trush himself almost lost his life. The tiger jumped on him and severely injured his shoulder and legs. His life was saved by his colleagues, who shot the beast in time. The scene only lasted a few seconds. The tiger was not weighed, but according to the men, it was possibly the largest they had ever seen. This male was undoubtedly of exceptional size. Later, when Trush and his men performed an autopsy on the tiger, they discovered that this was not the first time it had been shot. Multiple bullet wounds were found in his body, and they were not recent. In total, this tiger had been shot dozens of times in its life. Perhaps this explains the behavior of this tiger, because no one likes to be shot at. In addition to this incident during his career, Trush also interviewed Sergei Boyko, another hunter who knew what could happen by angering a tiger. One day, with another hunter, they robbed a tiger of its prey. After they saw him moving away, they cut off a piece of meat for themselves. They didn't take everything. This is the law of the taiga. You must share. The next day, when they returned to the location, they saw that the tiger did not touch what was left. From that day on, they never got anything again. The tiger destroyed their traps and scared away the animals that came up to the bait. For a whole year, this tiger did not let them hunt. That taught them a good lesson. The tiger is an unusual animal, very strong, very intelligent, and very vindictive. Boyko's experience was not unusual. The stubborn anger of the tiger is proven. Vladimir S., former head of the Tiger Inspectorate and an expert on tiger attacks, has collected many stories throughout his career. In March 2007, he said that he and his team had investigated at least 8 cases, and they all came to the same conclusion. If a hunter shoots a tiger and only wounds him, then the tiger will track him down and find him, even if it takes 2 or 3 months. The tiger will patiently wait for the one who shot him and no one else. December 3, 2006, in the vicinity of a village in the Pozharsky district, a tiger crushed and ate a man. There were no witnesses of a tiger hunting a man, so the drama that took place in an apiary had to be read in the footsteps. The tiger came from the northeast along an old trail. She went to the hives and smashed 2 of them into pieces. Then her attention was drawn to an aluminum pot and ladle left outside. The beast flattened the dishes with its paws and then chewed them up. At least 20 fang marks were found. The tiger lay down by the road 45 meters from the beehives. There she met the owner. A jump, and the person's life was cut short. The sight was terrible. In addition to everything, about 25 meters away, there was a rustle and snow fell from the spruce. The tiger was nearby. There was very thick deadwood all around. Visibility was poor. The dog refused to follow the trail. Further pursuit could turn into a new tragedy, so it was decided to return to the beehives. Yuri Trush claims that the tiger was waiting for a specific person. tiger's tracks led straight to the beehives. It is also impossible to say that hunger drove her there. The fur of a wild boar was clearly visible in the excrement of the predator. That is, the tiger was in good shape and could easily get a taiga animal. But the cat was clearly enraged by the smell of the owner of the beehives. How else to explain the broken hives and torn dishes? Usually tigers do not chew metal. Therefore, it is only one explanation for such purposeful persecution. Lumberjacks witnessed this tigress lose her cub. Most likely the same Vladimir M. shot the cub and probably injured the tigress as well. And as you know, tigers remember the smell of the offender very well, so it turns out that the tigress avenged her cub. Conclusion: if people leave tigers alone, tigers will not attack people.